Good morning, Britain. Water bills could be set to rise by hundreds of pounds a year. New plans could see you footing the bill to clean up the sewage mess water companies have so far failed to tackle.
A huge escalation in the NHS pay dispute as England's most senior doctors vote to walk out in the same week as their junior colleagues in July, bringing 7 days of strike disruption to the health service.
This Wallet Wednesday, find out why many people should be taking a meter reading now to avoid paying higher energy bills. Plus, Martin's advice on the major changes to student finance.
Yeah, if you are the parent of an under 18-year-old, then you need to know about the biggest change to student finance in England in a decade, with the cost of going to university increasing for many by around 50% from this September. I'll be explaining how it works, take your questions, and we'll help you navigate the system.
The Trick Special Award goes to...
Good morning,
Britain!
And it's the morning after the night before. Good Morning Britain honoured with a special award at this year's Trick Awards, while Nigel Farage brushes off the booze to celebrate winning Best News Presenter with a pint.
And he's the king of the airways with a voice like butter, unlike mine when I tried to do that then. Ken Bruce tells us how he really feels about leaving the BBC after 3 decades and why he's decided to make the leap from radio to telly.
Another cloudy start to the day with outbreaks of rain, and the outlook remains unsettled. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Wednesday, 28th of June, 2023. Live from Television Centre in London, this is Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid and Martin Lewis.
Good morning, Britain. It's just gone 6 o'clock. Very good morning to you. Very good morning to you, Martin Lewis.
Congratulations to you.
Congratulations to the whole team.
Congratulations to you and the whole team.
Yeah.
I had actually already left.
I know.
I didn't know there was a special award coming because I was there for the Martin Lewis Money Show. We lost, but to the late great Paul O'Grady, so no problems with that at all.
The peerless.
The
Paul
peerless.
O'Grady, yeah.
But I think it was wonderful that you got it, and I also
we
missed...
got it. We all
Yes,
got
no,
this
you as a collective.
award.
You as
Yes,
a collective now.
But you're a part of the Royal Reid.
I'm just an occasional chipper-inner. This should sit firmly on your part of the desk this morning. Congratulations to you and to all the team. Much deserved.
Well done.
And it's a pleasure to be sitting here as part of the Trick Award-winning Good Morning Britain today.
Yeah. Laura Tobin, is it a pleasure to be in the morning after the night before? Because you're usually the one who's out the latest.
I'm the measure normally, aren't I? Well, yesterday I actually was sensible, but I stayed for the celebratory champagne, and I was surprised. I had absolutely no idea. And then there was this really lovely VT of all of the work we've had over the last year. It was amazing.
For the viewing public. Laura being very sensible that she didn't stay too late. This was a lunchtime award. Right? This was not the case.
That's right.
This didn't happen at 9 o'clock last night. The
This
award
was brunch.
started at 12:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well done for getting to bed on time
you.
for a 12:30 award ceremony.
Yeah, absolutely right. Terrific. And it's down to you as well, the viewers. Of course it is, because without you, we're nothing. So thank you very much indeed. Special award. We'll go on about that all morning, just to warn you. But our main news this morning, and it's a good job you're here, Martin, because water companies are drawing up plans to increase bills by up to 40% to pay for the cost of tackling the sewage crisis. This is according to The Times this morning. Rises are expected to be announced next year and could mean annual bills increase from an average of around £450 up to £680. The Chancellor's set to raise the issue at a meeting with the water regulator Ofwat today. Jeremy Hunt is meeting consumer watchdogs to discuss ways to address the cost of living crisis in response to claims companies are profiteering when consumers are struggling.
I mean, we're in the middle of an inflationary crisis. This is a proposal to put water bills up by 50%. We already have above inflation rate increases in mobile bills and in broadband bills, which shouldn't be allowed. In-contract rises should be banned. I've campaigned on that for years. I think today's meeting will probably see the end of that. But, I mean, this water news is not going to be very welcome for many people.
No, especially when people are told they cannot have a pay rise because that would be inflationary. You need a pay rise to be able to afford the increase in bills. In a moment, we're going to speak to Katie Rickett about the impact this meeting could have on gas and electricity bills. But first, Lorna Shaddick is here in the studio. Lorna, these companies have been fined record amounts, but it looks like the costs are now going to be passed on to consumers.
Yeah, that's right, Susanna. And I think you might remember, I certainly remember last summer, some of those awful pictures of raw sewage that people were coming across on beaches and in rivers. I remember speaking to people on this programme, horrified families who'd seen sewage sort of floating past their children in the sea. And it's now been reported, as you say, in the Times, that the water companies in England have been asked to submit plans by October on how they're going to be tackling that kind of pollution from things like sewage, things like improving those storm overflows that we've been talking about quite a lot. And that will be run by the water regulator, Ofwat. But the Times is also saying it's seen documents that in order to pay for that work, water companies are asking the regulator to approve these price increases, as you say, of up to 40%. So take Southern Water, for example. They got a £90 million fine for dumping raw sewage. They could, their customers could see bills go up the most, in fact, from £432 to £677 by 2030. Now, they say that is so they can invest an additional £4 billion, and their region has unique challenges when it comes to pollution. But they are not the only ones. Many other companies, South East Water, Wessex Water, Thames Water, all potentially proposing increases. And that comes as well as the boss of Thames Water has stepped down with immediate effect, just weeks after she said she would be giving up her bonus because of poor environmental performance by that company. And ministers reportedly now considering renationalising Thames Water. But as you say, you know, people are thinking water bills have already gone up. Prices already rose by up to 11% in April, and that is why the Chancellor is holding this meeting.
We have a structural problem in the water industry. So the water is the one industry out there that you have privatisation but no competition.
No, you can't go anywhere else.
So you know, what are the benefits of market competition, which is supposed to be the theory here? There's clearly been a problem in regulation in that they've been focusing on, you know, if you're suddenly having to play catch-up, why wasn't it done in the first place? There are, incidentally, lots of people in England and Wales who are paying way more than they need to on their water bills. I'll try and tell you a little bit about that later.
Lorna, thanks very much indeed. Katie Rickett is in Liverpool. The Chancellor, of course, has this important meeting today. How might that help people struggling with energy bills?
Well, Susanna, they're hoping it will stop them going out of control. This is the monster that has been looming its ugly head for businesses like this pub in Liverpool for basically the last year and beyond, right back into COVID. Tess Riley's bar, where I am this morning, actually saw its bills rise by 50%, utility bills rise by 50% last year when it locked into a new deal, and they're stuck with that deal for another year, and it's left them with some really tough decisions. Do they put their prices up to get the money back and annoy all their customers, or do they try and shoulder it themselves? And they, like many others, have chosen the latter, but it has meant a lot of pubs really struggling to make ends meet and some even closing down. Things are about to get even tougher because, of course, the support for businesses has come to the end, right as many others might be locking themselves into a new deal. We spoke to Seven Brothers Brewery, who supplies pubs like this yesterday, and they're concerned about the future.
We've been quite lucky over the last couple of years in terms of the cost of our energy, especially here at the brewery. We had fixed price contracts that have been locked in for the last 3 years. However, they're coming to an end in September. So we already know what price increase we're going to experience, and that's anywhere between 60% and 80%.
Well, there's already been a bit of good news for households because a new energy price cap has come in below the energy price guarantee, which means most household bills will drop by around 17%. But what they're looking at in this meeting is whether that's still passing on the falls in wholesale prices fairly, and the energy companies aren't just profiteering from other people's misery.
Katie, thank you very much indeed. That's our main news this morning. We're going to speak to...
I have quite a lot to say on that. I'm trying not to say it now because I know we need to do the news now.
You can say anything you like after Charlotte has brought us up to date with the rest of the day's news.
Hold that thought, Susanna. Thanks very much.